Welcome to another That's What They Said, a podcast where we question the questionable lyrics of your favorite songs, Sarina&Scott Spinelli, talking What's Love? L-U-V by Fat Joe.
I hated that right away. I hated that.
But you just don't know how to spell people.
I did. You knew I would hate that. You knew I'd have something to say about that.
That's why I called it out.
I hate that. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's fine. What's Love? Spelled a way that Scott hates, by Fat Joe, featuring Ashanti and Ja-Rule.
Well, here's something I learned today. I didn't realize there were two versions of this song. I didn't realize there was a version that doesn't have Ja-Rule on it, and then another version that does. Like the music video version, if you listen closely, Ja-Rule's not there. It's just Fat Joe doing. He's not under. I mean, just like the audio.
Got to do with it. Yeah,
the male voice is in there, exactly. It's just Fat Joe doing it.
Oh, and he.
But
I like Ja-Rule's little raspy voice, though. So.
Oh yeah, I think it works. I just think it's weird. They're so close. Why would they not? And to me, I think it's a criminal waste of an opportunity to have a Ja-Rule verse. I mean, like, there's got to be the fact that you have Ja-Rule, who at that point was so big,
yes,
and only use him as essentially a background vocal, is very weird to me.
Yeah. Very odd. You're right. That is a weird.
That needed a verse. That really, yeah. It just, I don't know. This song to me is just like, it just always felt like, we're gonna get into the lyrics, obviously, but like in terms of enjoyment, it always just felt like it didn't know what it was, right? Like, is it an R&B song or is it a rap song? And it's kind of like in that middle weird ground that I've never quite fully appreciated. But either way, do you have any more nugs? You have nugs for us?
I do.
I got a couple too. Go ahead. Go. Give me what you got.
So for those that are unaware, it is also like they have Tina Turner, like an ode to Tina Turner's song, What's Love Got to Do With It? Mm-hmm. When they say What's Love Got to Do with it, babe, which is done either by Fat Joe or Ja-Rule. And my other Denver nug was that this song almost didn't have Ashanti in it either.
Yes.
It was meant to be for Jennifer Lopez to appeal to the Latino market, and then Fat Joe, who's Latino himself, was like, I do enough appeal, baby, and actually liked Ashanti, who did the demo for it. He was like, let's just stick with Ashanti.
So a couple of thoughts, because I saw the same story, right? First thought is, I when they were saying like we're gonna, because I saw the same thing, that they wanted to have J.Lo on it to like increase the appeal for Latinos. Yeah. I have to say that I don't know if I even fully buy that, because like she was so big. It wasn't like this is like Selena Jennifer Lopez. Like Jennifer Lopez at this point was big worldwide. Like it was. Yeah. I understand that she definitely would have had a value towards that for sure. I'm not denying that, but like she was also so big that everybody would have been. It just would have been, frankly, a smarter move in terms of making the song as big as it could be. So I don't think that's number one. Number two, I have a hard time believing that, and I'm sure you saw this in the last year, Irv Gotti and Ashanti exchanged barbs. Were they dating? Weren't they dating? At one point they were together, weren't they? He produced, Irv Gotti, a lot of songs that she was very big on, instrumental at the very least in the exploding portion of her career. It's hard to imagine that didn't have something to do with it as well. Because other than money, it's why at that point would you not pick Jennifer Lopez over Ashanti? And I like both of them. I'm knocking either them, but like, if you had your absolute pick at that point in their careers,
right. Yes,
why would you not pick? And they had worked together, Jennifer Lopez and Fat Joe. It's not like they never done stuff together. So like, come on now, let's be real. It wasn't like, oh, he was just trying to be nice to Ashanti. Like, come on.
No, you're right. Right. Like, I can hear J.Lo. When I read that, I was like, I could hear J.Lo on this.
And I think it would have been good too. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right. But could have been a few strings and pulls, because Irv Gotti is mentioned quite a few. He's in his posse. And
to that point, shortly thereafter, there were a number of, that's when the ascension really began for Ashanti. She was not a nobody at that point, but like within the next year and a half, that's when like 2 years or so that she just exploded. So
she did. Do you have any other Denver nugs to the song?
Just one other Denver nug, which is that I think this was his first major single, right? Like he had a couple other records, but this was his first major pop single. So, and it kind of like catapulted him into another area in that he was always considered a great rapper, the whole Terror Squad thing, even Lean Back. which is a song that everyone knows of his, technically was a Terror Squad release, was not a release of his on his solo album. And so I just think it's just interesting to, like, retroactively be like, okay, this was the song, because he isn't a pop rapper, but this is a pop song.
Yes,
it
put him mainstream.
Yeah, exactly, and that's that everybody, no matter how hard you are, like if you want to sell records and be viable long term, you have, like, most rappers or most artists in general would kill for a record like this, and this is how it happens, so.
It was the second single from his fourth studio album, Jealous One Still Envy, 2001.
Jose, yes.
Oof, Jose.
Love an acronym.
Yes. And part of it was from Tina Turner, What's Love? And then it also, a previous song that we featured, Still Not a Player by Big Pun.
Yeah, they had the shout out, yes.
Yeah, part of that. So yeah, just full of little nuggets that are fun. And this song is, well, it's stupid popular. It peaked at number 2 on the Billboard.
That makes sense. Okay, so I know you and I were chatting before we started recording, and we have a lot to say about the actual meat of this song. But before we do, I just wanted to go into a quick little thing that this song does that is a weird, strange thing that, in my opinion, only happens in hip hop, right? It's only a rap thing, which is the inclusion of the artist somehow not being ready to actually record the song. What is that? Why is that in rap music? And it happens all the time, right? You hear it in this song with, put the fucking mic on.
Mic is on?
Why did that make the song? Why is that in the song? And it happens. I went looking, by the way. I did this, and every so often you and I will occasionally will actually prep for this as opposed to just riff. And I went back and looked because I was like, this happens in rap a lot, all right? It happens, Eminem.
Jay-Z has done it. Yeah, no.
Yes. I have 2 examples. Eminem cleaning out my closet, where he goes, where's my snare? I have no snare in my headphones. Yes. Or Jay-Z on The Ruler Is Back, when he says, turn the motherfucking music up. Like, why are you including your conversations with the engineer? What is that?
It makes it feel like you're not doing your job. Like, if we weren't doing our job, this wouldn't be recorded right now.
But am I wrong? Is this is distinctly a thing that happens in rap and nowhere else?
It's not like Sheryl Crow was ever like, hey, can you turn my music up?
Turn my treble up. My treble is inviting.
No, it wasn't Spice Girls. Like, no, they just went into, yo, tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
Yes, the song begins where the song begins. Like, why is it? And I've heard comics make jokes about, like, like this sort of chatter that they do, in terms of, how they shout out their own names. We've talked about that. Sure. But this to me is its own separate thing that, like, the only time I've ever heard this is on live recordings of things. But, like, this is a studio, like, a studio song that for some reason
left on.
Yes. Why did you leave on the conversation with your sound engineer? Who is that for? I don't understand that. Sorry, I just had to go.
Did we catch a little bit of, like, off script? I'm like, no, I don't know. Maybe you even scripted that, which is even more weird.
Yes. Like, when we record, there is a thing, for those of you who are curious about such things. When we record on video, Sarina presses a button that tells me that I am recording, and a robot voice comes in and says, recording in progress. I don't leave that in. You know what I mean?
Unless it's, like, funny where you and I go back and forth about some random thing, and then I put it at the end of our YouTube.
Sure.
But it's at the end. I don't even leave it.
But it's also not us discussing whether or not the recording device is working.
Is it recording? Is recording? Hey, Scott, I'm going to leave this in. No, it's a waste of time.
It's not like Fat Joe didn't break into your home and perform this song live every time. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand who. All right, I'm sorry. We're 10 minutes in, and I understand. We got to keep moving, but I just had to.
I put the same thing on. I was like, the mic is on, or we wouldn't be doing our job.
Why? Like I said, I don't understand why this stuff is included. I don't get it.
The lyric right after that, slow down, baby. Let you know from the gate, I don't go down, lady. Bro, that's a big statement, especially when you go into the rest of the lyrics and things that Ashanti says, I'm like, okay, you have some boundaries, you have standards that you're gonna live by, and I'm glad you let the woman know you're not gonna go down on her. But I mean,
I said points. I said points for honesty. That's what I wrote down, because it's just like, you know, doesn't seem like Fat Joe is an equal opportunity lover.
No, he's not.
Who am I to say? Jealous ones. What is it? Jealous ones always envy, or jealous ones still envy, or whatever that acronym, that ridiculous acronym stands for. Yeah,
right. Honesty points. Fine.
Yeah, honesty points.
Just being clear.
I mean, similar to that, in that same vein of honesty points, right after that, or like a line after that, the lyric where he goes, "Girl, you get me aroused how you look in my eye, but you talk too much, man. You're ruining my high." Now, we can all relate to that, right? We can all relate to when our significant other is droning on about his fantasy baseball team that you don't care about, or the favorite show she watches that you don't care about. But you don't tell them that, hey, listen, if I hear one more, just one more detail about the housewives. Yeah. just one. Yeah, exactly. I don't say that. Those are inside thoughts. Even for me, those are inside thoughts.
Which is impressive. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Yeah, I wrote that same one down, and I even wrote the lyric before that. I want a chick with thick hips that licks her lips. She can be the office type or like to strip. I'm like, well, she could also do both. Like, I'm sure there are office type women that like to strip at times as well. And
the office type, by the way, though, is I think we know what he means, but like, what a wide, anybody who's worked in an office knows what a wide range of individuals that is.
The salary gap is large.
Could be anything.
Type. You can be a secretary or a lawyer.
Yeah, CEO, someone who cleans the toilets, anyone in between.
You go in and you're in an office, even though you're a janitor.
Yeah, there are. I mean, places I've worked, there's hundreds of thousands of dollars of a delta in salary between various women throughout the company. I mean, it's just like, it could be anybody. It could literally be anybody that works in an office.
Yeah, that's so true.
It's so weird.
Yeah, like him to go, I need a chick with thick hips. Like, you, again, continuing your honesty. Like, these are things that I need for myself. I'm not really, again, we'll get to Ashanti's part. It drives me insane. I'm like, wow, like, you paid Ashanti a lot of money, Irv or Fat Joe or one of y'all, because it's impressive the things that Fat Joe will not do and what he expects from a woman versus what Ashanti is like, oh no, I want everything. Like,
before we get to Ashanti, a couple more Fat Joe lyrics.
Yes, please.
Tattoo on your chest with his name in the middle.
Terrible decision.
That's what I was thinking. Such a bad idea. And then, I mean, what'd you say? Say again?
Why would you do that?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I mean, that's one of those things where I'm not a tattoo person, but if you were going to get a tattoo of somebody, I would think that you would just get a tattoo somewhere. I mean, again, this is not very romantic to say, but like, maybe not right here on your chest. I mean,
Who are you dating? I can't.
It's a little much. It's a little much to have it right there. Yeah, that lyric. I have one more Fat Joe lyric, unless you have another one. Where do you stand?
I have a few. You say you got a man and you're in love, but what's love got to do with a little menage after the party, me and you? Like, you say you got a man and you're in love, but what's love got to do? Like, it doesn't matter. I'm like, Fat Joe, you are really aggressive.
Again, perhaps just the male perspective here, I will say, I kind of get his point. I mean, he's just trying to, as the kids say, get it in. And so what does love have to do with that? Right.
Do you want to have fun? You could still love. We're creating a new definition for love.
It's what is love, L-U-V, really.
Do you love him or do you love him?
Love him. Unclear. I mean, okay, here's another one.
Yeah.
You need to trust the God and jump in the car for a little hard 8 at the Taj Mahal. Now, on genius.com,
yes,
they gave a couple different options for this. So I don't know if you clicked on this lyric, but here's what they say for people who haven't wasted their time looking at this as you and I have. They give 3 possible options, and I'm curious what you think this may mean. So again, the lyric is, you need to trust the God and jump in the car for a little hard 8 at the Taj Mahal. Their three suggestions were, in no particular order, that it's that hard 8 is a 8 ball of cocaine, that he has an 8-inch member, shall we say, and that they can go, because of the Taj Mahal reference, hard 8, which is a roll of the dice in craps, that they could go play craps at the casino. I have my own opinion as to what this means. I'm curious what you think that lyric means.
I had the same one down, and I was like, lots of options here.
Yeah.
I assume, based on how this song is going so far for Fat Joe, and his confidence level is high, Otis Redding high, if you will, that I'm getting the letter B out of this one. I'm going with option B. These sides.
Yes. The notion that anyone thinks this has to do with him wanting to play craps with his new girlfriend here, doubt it.
Waste of time, considering the song.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. Like, what's love got to do with a little table game is the real question. Nothing. You know, don't go play craps. You've got a menage on your hands. And then the other part too is, I mean, I suppose it could be cocaine, but like, seems to me, based on the tone of this song, that bragging about the size of your member is what this is to me.
Yeah. Mommy, I know you got issues. You got a man, but you need to understand that you got something with you. Who has issues? Mommy. Yeah. Oh, excuse me.
This is like the most unbelievable example of gaslighting I've ever heard. Right? Like, he's the one that wants to break up her relationship, and he is telling her that she has issues.
Mommy, I know you got issues.
I don't know. On you.
And then ass is fat, frame is little. Yeah, I had the same thing where I'm just like, so you have issues, you have a terrible tattoo, and I'm expecting you to be thick in the butt and tiny in the waist, even though my name is Fat Joe.
Well, so I have one more lyric, then I want to get to the Ashanti thing. Unless you got more Fat Joes. You got more Fat Joes?
No, it's literally
So yeah, here's my last Fat Joe, which is I stroll in the club with my hat down, Michael Jack style, hot stepping, who the Mac now. And I was just thinking, like, of all the general misogyny that's in and dated lyrics in this song, this line might be the most dated, because the notion that Michael Jackson was somehow the reference point as a Mac, right? Like, I don't, even back then that didn't feel accurate to me. I remember thinking, like, he's the king of pop, but he's not what I think of even as like, oh, he's getting all the girls at this point. You know what I mean?
I think Michael Jackson tried to portray that in his music videos, but
was
never
anybody
once
buying?
did I go, oh yeah,
exactly.
Everybody.
Oh, of course, dance fights. Yeah.
Yes, the dance fights.
Yeah, naturally the Mac. Yeah. Just ridiculous, but
interpretive dance. I did have actually one more. Put your body in motion. You gotta jigga open. You came here with a heart to cheat. You came here with a heart to cheat? I mean, you have a black heart.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out and I have the heart to cheat. I don't think that's a heart. I think you're dead inside.
Yeah. I mean, people do that though. It sucks, but you know.
That was my only one until, and again, the most insane lyric ever that Ashanti could ever, and maybe J.Lo was like,
yeah, what's yours? Yeah, I'm curious what you think, because I have one too from her. What's yours?
I want the Don Joey crack on top of me. Don't want your stacks, just break my back.
Yeah. Can we let's take a step back here, okay?
Oh, poor Ashanti. Oh, Lord.
Let's take a step back here. So Louis C.K. in his most recent stand-up bit does this great bit about Good Will Hunting, about how ridiculous some of the lines are that Matt Damon's character gets to get away with. And part of his joke is like, the only reason these work is because Matt Damon wrote a movie wherein his character gets to say the cool shit, right? Like, that's the only, like, the whole, like, yeah, like apples thing, like, that's an idiotic line. It only works because he wrote every character to be amazed by this line, right? So, like, similarly, this song to me pulls off this trick. And the trick is that he got a woman to sing a lyric that clearly is his lyric. Like, it is not
1,000%. Ashanti is like, how much are you paying me? Oh, okay, sure. Okay.
Yes. No woman feels that way. Oh, I just want an enormous man on top of me. I don't want any money for this. I just want you to have intercourse with me so aggressively that I walk away pulverized. Yeah, I walk away.
I'm gonna leave. Maybe I'm never able to walk again.
Who knows? Walking is optional after my encounter with you. But again, no financial restitution necessary. I'm fine. Like, this is so obviously it's so obviously written by like a bunch of dudes just being like, this is clearly what they want, right? Like, it's so absurd. I can't. What'd you say?
I want no financial restitution. Please, no, don't give me any money. I mean, I'll never walk again. I'm in a wheelchair for life, but thank you so much for getting on top of me.
The opportunity, Joseph, that you provided for me to ruin my relationship with my previous boyfriend.
I was in love with, and now I have a tattoo to remind myself.
And the fact that you thought highly enough of my thick ass and my little waist to pulverize my spine and not allow me to walk ever again with no compensation whatsoever. I can't even say thank you on a high enough level. Thank you. Yeah, it was just like, I think it's the most obvious case of men writing for women, maybe in recorded history. It is
ever.
Yeah, that line is so obviously like insanely biased as a man's perspective coming out of a woman's voice. And that's why this song to me is weird in that like it works, but then when you start to listen to it, you're like, wait a minute. You think it's like, because there's a woman on the chorus, it doesn't sound as bad.
It doesn't hit you. I didn't realize when I heard the song, like for years and years and years, I was like, oh, Ashanti's on it. It's cute now. No, it ain't cute. I just hope she got paid a lot of money to say that lyric. But she, in the lyrics, she's like, I don't want stacks, just break my back. And so casually and in a cute way.
It was just, it's like I said, I'm repeating myself, but it was so over the top in terms of like, I'm just surprised. Like it's outstanding how much it is a man's line coming out of her.
I'm like, wow, way to go.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Maybe J.Lo was like, yeah, again, relieved. Like, oof, I dodged a bullet there.
She's like, I'm never gonna fucking say this, right?
Yeah.
I'm never saying this.
I will never, ever.
Not a chance.
Ashanti on the demo.
Yeah.
But Irv is like, look what I did for your career, Ashanti. Please.
Yeah, exactly. It's a ridiculous lyric. Again, catchy song, crazy ridiculous lyrics in this song.
I would never utter those words in my life unless it's repeating this song.
Here's the thing, right? Like, it's not even to say that all women will only have sex with him because of money. And it's not to say that some women do not want to have aggressive sex with him. It's just the notion that he combined them together, which is just like so clearly what he is afraid of and what he wants, which most women would not conjoin. You know what I mean? Like, because it's not from their perspective. They don't have it. This is not how they would perceive it. In the same way that, like, I don't know, like most adult films are from the male perspective, right? Like, it's the same idea as that. Like, it's clearly not a representative song in any way, shape, or form. Not that it's intending to be, but it's like when you, like you said, like when we do what we just did here, you're like, oh, Jesus. Okay.
Yeah. Girl, I'm worried about Ashanti and her body parts right now. Yeah, it's just, and to that point, I'd love to just touch on the video very quickly.
Yeah, go for it.
Because they put poor Ashanti walking through a men's locker room. There's like a basketball theme. But I'm like, why are you having her walk through a locker room? Like, all dressed up. She looks very nice, put together. And
was the locker room because of the Joanna Man tie-in?
Yeah, this is also part of the Joanna Man record, which I don't think we mentioned off the top, but
isn't that so weird? Like how
soundtrack, I should say.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago we did
Dr. Dolittle?
Yeah, and it's funny because I didn't say this when we recorded that one, but I was thinking about it. Like, there were I remember, you remember the movie Big Mama's House?
Yes.
Right? I remember being down the Jersey Shore, winning on one of the wheels, the Big Mama's House soundtrack, because it was produced by So So Def, and being so excited to have the soundtrack, right? And like, nowadays, like I know the Black Panther soundtrack was like a big hip hop record. I know the Creed soundtracks have been pretty big, but like it's just so funny to think about soundtracks getting What's Love. Like that's so weird that song is also on there.
So I was beyond fascinated by Joanna Man's soundtrack, and I have it up saved.
Yeah,
What's Love, like impressive list here. Let me just give you a few. Isn't She Lovely? Stevie Wonder.
Oh, of course.
Joanna Man soundtrack.
Yep.
Shake Your Ass by Mystical. That's a big song.
Was that had that already come out, or was that like?
Yeah, but the main one, What's Love, was like the one for this song.
That's what's so weird to me is like when songs are they are released via the soundtrack. That's
yeah. But this, like, if you were like, I like the movie, let me just. I mean, like Diana Ross, you have James Brown on the. I was like, what? Like the compilation of songs are great for a movie that.
I've never seen the movie. Have you seen it? I've never seen it.
That's so great. I have, and that's how I recognize the actor, the actor from Joanna Man. He's part of Joe's posse. Yeah, Miguel. Yeah. I was like, oh, why is he in this? And I was like, oh, I had no idea that it was part of for the movie. Also, the video was filmed at Fordham University in New York.
Okay. Stand up. Yeah, the Fordham Rams. Good. That's a nug.
It's a good nug. I saved it to the end because I was like, that's part of the video.
Yeah, what's wrong with ending on a nug? I like ending on a nug.
So yeah, I was just, I'm like, keep her out of that. And again, like, take her out of that. And also they were dancing together. Like Ashanti is heavily featured in the music video, which is great. But it's also like, you're saying these lyrics. Do you see the guy next to you? Like, I just don't know if you really are processing what you're actually saying.
What's actually happening here.
I'm worried about Ashanti is all. Like, who's sticking up for her?
Certainly wasn't me in the early 2000s. I'll tell you that much.
No, me neither. Yeah. I was like, it could fool me that she was doing just fine.
Certainly didn't think about those lyrics in 2001 when it came out. No.
And now I can't get out of my head that Ashanti said, I want the Don Joey crack on top of me.
I don't want your stacks. Just please.
Break my back. No money. Just a broken spine.
Treat me like Batman and Bane and break my back.
Yes. I mean, I'm glad she's still walking. I'm glad she's okay.
Yeah, she survived the encounter. We're happy to report.
Do you have any final thoughts on this song, music video, or Ashanti's livelihood?
I think I'm tapped.
Good for Fat Joe, because I feel like has come in to the spotlight again. Like lost weight, seems like he's kind of.
I've always, this is a corny thing. This is corny to say, but like, you know how like Lil Bow Wow obviously got older and he became Bow Wow. Right, Lil Wayne at least has always been small in stature, so the little like I've always
not fat. Yeah,
if he's not fat, then I mean, I guess people maybe just call him Joe, I guess, but like
there's other Joes.
Yeah, there was someone else that I'm thinking of that like isn't, or like Pink. I've always wondered like if Pink doesn't have pink hair anymore. Yeah, or no, like I think right, isn't her hair primary? She's like blonde more often than not now. Like Pink feels. I don't know. I don't have a joke here. I just was always these are.
No, but you're right. Fat Joe is not fat anymore. And if you had no idea of what Fat Joe looked like in previous lives, then you'd be like very confused if this is.
Or if you showed someone, if you showed someone like this guy is named Fat Joe, you'd be like, come on, no, this is just Joe.
Fun too. I mean, bro, he was big. Then he was like Flacco at one point. Like these names, don't but maybe Fat Joe's just I mean he's Fat Joe. Yeah,
I mean he does have those other names, Joey Crack, etc. But
Joe I don't want to call him Joe.
Yeah, I'm not calling him anything. He doesn't really.
Maybe he goes by Jose to his friends.
He doesn't reach out to me that often, so we don't really communicate.
Joey, hey, I don't know.
Joseph, how are you, pal?
Yeah, maybe.
I call him, Giuseppe is what I call him.
Yeah, Poppy, come here. Yeah, I'm just curious, but I'm glad he's lost some weight. Maybe he could sing this song and it wouldn't be as aggressive as all.
Yeah. No backbreaking anymore.
So yeah, shout out to Juwanna Man, Fat Joe, who's no longer fat, and Ashanti for still being able to walk. That wraps up another episode. If that's what they said, find us on YouTube because we're there. And we don't call ourselves fat. We're just regular sized human beings.